People always say one small act of kindness can change a life, but no one ever mentions how it can save one. That day, inside a quiet, dimly lit diner on the edge of the city, a shy young waitress stepped forward with trembling hands and signed a greeting to a woman who hadn't heard a voice in almost 60 years. What she didn't know was that the old woman was the mother of the city's most feared mafia boss. And she had just touched the heart of a man people believed had none. This is the moment that rewrote destinies, shattered fears, and healed wounds no bullet ever could. Rain hammered against the windows of Moonlight Diner, streaking the glass in silver trails. The city outside moved like a blur, taxis spraying water, people rushing, neon signs flickering. Inside, however, everything was slow. Quiet. Safe. A little world of its own. And in that world, 19-year-old Alina folded napkins with the same nervous concentration she did everything, soft, shy, careful. Her co-workers often teased her. "You're scared of your own shadow," they'd say, laughing gently. She always gave the same small smile, never offended, just used to being the quiet one, the girl who stuttered when new customers looked her way, the one whose heartbeat sped up whenever someone raised their voice. But no one knew the real reason for her quietness. She had grown up around endless noise, arguments, slamming doors, shouting, and silence felt like safety. Silence felt like home. The diner bell chimed when the door opened, but Alina didn't look up immediately. It wasn't unusual for customers to walk in drenched from the rain. But the silence that followed, thick, heavy, expectant, made her spine stiffen. She slowly lifted her eyes. Two men in expensive black coats stood near the entrance, scanning the room with sharp glances. Not angry, not loud, just dangerous in a way that made the air tighten. Their presence was a shadow stretching across the room. Behind them, holding a small umbrella and a woven handbag, was an older woman, small, gentle-faced, wrapped in a warm gray shawl. The diners went rigid. People whispered. Someone nudged another person, whispering a name that Alina didn't catch. But the energy changed, fast, anxious, and then she saw him. He walked in last, tall. Broad shoulders. A suit sharp enough to cut glass. No expression, just eyes dark enough to make strangers look away before he even looked at them. Adrian Moretti. The name hit Alina's ears only when a nervous customer murmured it shakily, the Adrian Moretti. The men newspapers only mentioned in hints. The men police cars followed but never arrested. The man who controlled half the city's underworld with the calmness of someone sipping tea. Alina's stomach twisted. He stepped aside to help his mother into a booth, his voice low, gentle, nothing like the rumors. His mother smiled softly at him, but didn't respond verbally. Instead, she moved her hands, signing something with elegant, practiced motions, and suddenly everything made sense. The mafia boss's mother was deaf. Everyone else in the diner averted their eyes. No one approached. No one wanted to make the wrong move around a man like him. But Alina saw the old woman smile politely at the hostess stand, waiting. Unsure. Alone in the noise she couldn't hear, Alina swallowed hard, her heart hammered. Don't go, don't embarrass yourself, don't draw attention. But her feet moved on their own. Step by trembling step, she stopped beside their booth, hands shaking, breath trembling. Adrian's men glanced up instantly, evaluating her like she was a threat, though she clearly wasn't. Adrian looked up too, expression unreadable, but Alina wasn't looking at him. She looked at his mother, and with a bravery she didn't know she had, she slowly raised her hands and signed, "Hello. Welcome. Would you like tea or coffee?" The old woman's eyes widened. Then softened. Then filled with a shine of surprise, real surprise, warm surprise. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't advanced, but it was sincere and clear. Adrian froze. His mother reached out and touched Alina's hand gently, responding in sign, slower, making sure the young waitress understood. "Coffee." "Thank you, dear," Alina translated verbally for Adrian. His expression didn't change, but something flickered behind his eyes, something like disbelief. His gaze wasn't cold now, it was studying her, questioning her, almost grateful. His mother gestured again. Alina smiled shyly. She said, "Your coat is wet, she wants you to stay warm." For the first time, Adrian cracked the smallest smile. That's just like her. The tension in the diner shattered like glass. The air warmed. People whispered in relief. And Adrian Moretti, silent, feared, dangerous, looked at the shy little waitress like she had just broken a wall no one else ever dared touch. As Alina walked away to get their order, she didn't notice Adrian watching her with the quiet intensity of a man who wasn't used to being surprised. or moved, but this was only the beginning. That night, something shifted in two lives that had always walked different roads, one in silence, one in shadows, and for the first time, those roads crossed, not by force but by kindness. The rain finally stopped near closing time, leaving the city drenched in silver reflections. The diner quieted as customers left, and only the Moretti table remained. Adrian's mother seemed at peace, warming her hands around her coffee mug, smiling each time Alina returned with a refill or spoke kindly to her. Alina had never interacted with someone so dangerous, yet so gentle. Adrian watched everything, not like a man judging, more like someone trying to understand a puzzle he'd never seen before. His mother rarely socialized. People either pitied her deafness or were too intimidated by her son to approach her at all. But this small, timid waitress had walked up with trembling hands and treated her like any other human being. When the diner finally emptied, Adrian rose and motioned to his guards to wait outside. He approached the counter where Alina nervously wiped the same spot over and over. He stood close, but not threatening. "Just present, you know sign language," he said quietly. She nodded, eyes lowered. "My cousin is deaf. I learned so she wouldn't feel alone." For a moment, Adrian didn't speak. Then he said something softer than anyone would expect from a man like him. "My mother hasn't had a normal conversation with a stranger in years." Alina's cheeks reddened. "I just wanted her to feel welcome. Most people don't care enough to try." She looked up then, surprised by the warmth in his tone. Not flirtatious. Not intimidating. Just genuine. His mother walked up beside him and signed something to Alina with a sweet smile. Alina giggled softly. Adrian raised a brow. "What did she say?" "She said you get stubborn when you skip meals, and that today you behaved." The Mafia boss pressed a hand to his forehead. "She would say that?" Alina laughed again, soft, shy, but real. And Adrian found himself watching her as though he didn't quite understand why her laughter mattered. Before leaving, his mother hugged Alina gently. A soft, heartfelt hug. A thank you that didn't need words. Adrian lingered a moment longer. "If anyone bothers you, for any reason, you let me know." It wasn't a threat. It was protection, and strangely, it felt comforting. After they left, the diner felt too quiet. Alina leaned against a table, heart thudding, not from fear, but from the weight of the moment. She had spoken with the mother of a feared Mafia boss, and found kindness where she least expected it. Outside, Adrian helped his mother into the car. But before getting in, he glanced back through the diner window, and saw Alina cleaning tables carefully, humming to herself. Something about her gentleness lingered with him, something rare, something needed, and as the car pulled away, Adrian's mother patted his hand and signed, "She's special." Adrian said nothing, but the faint curve of his lips said everything. That night, as Alina walked home beneath the streetlights, she didn't know that her life had already changed. She didn't know that danger and tenderness were about to walk toward her from the same man. She didn't know that her kindness would unravel secrets, heal an old wound, and force even the coldest hearts to face their truth. She only knew one thing: she had done something right, and fate had just taken notice.